Well, they say good fences make good neighbors, and I gotta think that's especially true if you've got dogs like I do. And if that fence is invisible, I gotta think it makes even better neighbors.
Hi, my name's Woody. The city is where my pal Sammy and I grew up, 22 stories up to be exact. Now the view was fine, but the outdoor space was a little cramped, and we never ventured into the concrete jungle without leashes. Sometimes it got to be just too much. And when we did find grass, well, it usually wasn't dog-friendly. But the move here to the country changed all that. Ah, freedom! Wide open spaces, the smell and feel of turf, and room to run, run, run. And with all this space to explore, why should we stop at a stone wall? Ron, though, says we need to have boundaries, so he's called Todd Brown over. Something about a fence that won't be seen. Right now, they're talking about where it should go.
This is where all the ticks are.
What's the issue with this?
Well, the ticks actually will migrate out from the wood line at least 5 or 6 feet.
At least
They're
5
more
From where the
in
grass
woods,
stops.
from where the grass ends and
all
the
right,
woods
so let's
begin.
just put it like under the tree line right here. That's a good 5 feet.
If the dogs get ticks, you're going to the vet.
Well, with the tick question settled, Todd explains how the fence works. A small wire will be buried in the ground and a radio signal transmitted from it. The dogs will wear receivers on their collars. As they approach the buried wire, they'll first hear a sound, then feel a mild correction, like a static shock, that will cause them to turn back. Our first step is to draw up a plan. Now, the backyard is large, so Todd suggests separating it from the front with 2 sharp bends, or dog legs, if you will.
And the only way that the dogs can get from one to the other is through the breezeway here if we leave the gate open.
That's right.
You know, I'm not real sure I want to do the dog legs. I kind of like the idea of just a perimeter all the way around the outside.
Wait, these dogs are coming from a 1,000 square foot New York City apartment. Believe me, they'll have more than enough room.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll fight in a different battle.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, with that resolved, our next step is to temporarily mark the fence location with flags. These will indicate where the cable is to be buried and will also show the dogs where the fence is during their initial training. The actual cable laying is done with this specialized piece of equipment. It cuts a slot into the ground and then lays in the cable all in one operation. The process is surprisingly fast. In our case, we bury over 1,000 feet of wire in less than half an hour. Until...
This is one heck of a machine.
It sure
It's
is.
not going to get through that, though.
No, it will not get through that.
So what do we do here?
You can rent a saw from your local tool rental place.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
How are you?
Good.
Ron.
Mike, nice to meet you.
Chris.
Meet you.
Chris, good to meet you. I got a ton of tools, guys, but I don't have, I got to cut a slot across an asphalt driveway, so I need some kind of a saw that'll cut through there. You got something that'll work?
We certainly do. And this will be it right here.
So just roll this along on the wheels then?
Exactly.
Now what'll I need for a blade here?
You probably want to go with a 14-inch masonry blade. One of these will do you fine.
Okay, all right. What's step 1?
Oh, we need to snap a chalk line.
Go ahead and snap.
Stretch this wire out.
Right down here.
Yep.
Okay.
Pack the wire down into the slot, and then we use the sealer, and you can overfill it just a little bit so that the caulk comes just over the top.
For the most part, we've been able to lay the underground fence as one continuous piece of wire. However, there are a couple of places where we'll need to make splices.
We'll just take the 2 wires. I'm going to strip off about 3/4 of an inch of the jacket. Now this splice here has a gel in it that doesn't harden.
It looks like almost like a petroleum jelly in there.
Yeah, fill a little of this.
Our underground fence now lies completely buried around the edge of the lawn, invisible except for the marker flags. Our next step is to bore a hole in the garage wall and bring the ends of the wires inside where we'll connect them to the transmitter.
Okay, see it, Todd? Got it?
This transmitter emits a radio signal that travels along the buried wire. First, we install a screw and mount the unit to the wall. Then attach the ends of the wire loop to the terminals.
We'll just staple these in here. We use an arched staple for cable tacking.
All right, so now there's still no power to this yet, right?
Yeah, we have our AC adapter here. This will step everything down. Now we've got 2 indicator lights on here. We've got a power light that lets us know that everything is on and working, and we have a loop indicator that tells us that the loop is continuous all the way around.
Well, the power is on and the indicators say the fence is working. But before I slip the receiver collars on the dogs, I decide to check out the correction myself.
All right, can I try?
Sure.
Can I actually feel it?
Yeah, it can.
I hate getting shocked.
Stand right there.
Ah! You know, it didn't hurt. It just surprised me.
That's enough to get your attention.
Yeah, I was like, hey, 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 you know? And that's what it's supposed to do, right?
That's correct. Now that everything's installed, we can start the training.
Is it going to be unpleasant for her?
Not generally. When we do the training,
The prongs don't poke into her neck?
they don't. They rest on the surface. We're going to give Sammy just the opportunity to hear the tone, and as we approach, she should start hearing the beep. She's hearing the beeping.
She's looking around.
Good girl, Sammy. Good girl.
Good girl, Sam.
Yay.
Did she turn around because she heard the beep?
She heard the beep. She got into a little bit of the correction and started to back away, although it probably wasn't evident to you. I saw her turn her head a little bit as she approached the boundary. Once it starts correcting, at the low levels, you can almost not even feel it. It's like feeling static shock off of like a doorknob in the wintertime, but much milder than that.
Well, Sammy gets high marks for her first lesson. Now it's Woody's turn.
I'll walk him up. He should be hearing the beeping right about here.
I hear the beep.
He's getting the correction. Good boy, Woody. Here.
Yay,
Good boy,
good
Woody.
boy.
Things happen differently with every dog, and sometimes we can make adjustments on the fly.
He's pushing me to the
No, I'm not. I want you to get closer to Todd. You have a better shot here.
Let me go.
Todd.
You have to go near the big flag.
You have a collar on. This dog learns so much more quickly than somebody else in our family.